Today has to do with your awareness of the audience, the way you treat the audience, your mindset, whether or not you want to be a professional musician. The audience matters more than you do. And sometimes people forget that, especially when you get in your own head and you're feeling self-conscious, or if you come from a place of doing it because of the acknowledgement that you hope to receive. If you're playing the music because you want to be recognized, you want to be famous, you want to be rewarded, you want everybody else to think you're great, you want to get a date, you want to get attention, you want to stand out. Those are some of the reasons people play music, but it's not very sustaining, especially if you want a career in music, because all of the money from music comes from the audience. It doesn't come from the industry. There's zero actual career without your audience. And if you start to build an awareness of your responsibility to the audience, it can be very freeing. If you're coming from a place of self-consciousness, it's actually quite self-centered. It's all about you. It's all about how you feel up here. It's all about what you're worried about, or whether you like your clothes, or whether you woke up with acne that day, or there are all kinds of ways to make it about you. And that can be, everybody does it. It's not, I'm not saying it with judgment, but if you start to have an awareness of, am I coming from that place, or am I here to serve something bigger? The audience, their experience. You can start to realize that it's like, my teacher I had at Berkeley was Livingston Taylor. It was the best class I took, and he talked a lot about this. He was the brother of James Taylor. He says it's like Simon Says. The energy and the space that you take up here is reflected on the audience and back to you. If you're frenetic, if you're self-conscious, that's going to create the audience experience as well. So the two people that I want to ask come up here, I just want you to enter the stage calmly, stand right here in the center, take a moment to be still, take a moment to realize where you are in the room and orient yourself, take a moment to have a sense of, I'm in charge here, I'm the one driving the ship. State your full name, and then let the audience applaud for you. And everybody please applaud like crazy, because you also have to learn how to accept applause. If you go, hi, I'm Sarah. That's not the goal. The goal is to be able to stand, even if you fake it till you make it, with the confidence to receive the applause, bow subtly and gracefully make your exit. Okay, so who's first? Y'all have to actually really applaud.
Not yet.
The entire performance is stating your name.
Oh, okay. Hi, I'm William Tunnell.
Try it one more time. I don't feel criticized, but here's what you did. They started to applaud and you went.
Yeah,
You looked to him.
Totally
You looked to him for. So now, learn to receive it. Hold your space with confidence. Okay, try it again. So come back from this way. And maybe slow down. Maybe say it a little. Okay.
Hi, I'm William Tunnell.
Difference? So you can apply this to a lot of aspects of your life, especially like I've been doing a lot of interviews recently for press, and my mentor taught me, if you're speaking quickly, hi, I'm William Tunnell. It gives the impression that you're trying to get in, get out of the way, as if you think what you're saying maybe they don't really want to hear it or it's not worth hearing. When you're in a situation like this, whether it's speaking to an audience or in an interview for a job or for press or for many, many things, even think about if you leave a voicemail or have a voicemail message. I could say, "Hi, this is Sarah. Leave a message." And it would be fast and end in a question. It sounds almost like I don't believe it, right? The tone and the quickness and compared to, "Hi, this is Sarah. I'm not able to answer your call right now. Please leave a message." It's just, there's a way, even with the tone of the way you speak. So the next person who's going to come up and give the performance of saying your name, consider whether you're doing it. If you could do it even a little bit more slowly than feels natural, and feel how that helps you give everyone a sense that you're in charge, not for the sake of just being the boss, but for them to feel safely held in the space you're creating. Who's next? Okay.
Hi, my name is Felix Chilelli.
That was good. And you had a moment where you wanted to turn and bolt? But that was pretty good. That was great. Do you feel what I'm talking about? Okay, go out this way. One more.
Ross needs to introduce himself.
Okay, let's watch how Ross does
Ross,
it.
come on.
Are you serious?
Yeah, come on. You just walked on stage.
I'm sorry, I was on the phone texting anything.
No, I don't believe this.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Ross Margitza. Thank you very much.
I want one more person to do it. Come on. You can come from this side.
Hello everyone, my name is Daniel Romero. Thank you.
That was great, and I like how you put your own spin on it.
He tripped on his shoelaces. It was great.
Okay, so the point I'm trying to make today, or the point that I intend to make, is you're to be considerate of the audience, considerate of the space and the moment you're creating. The audience is here because they want to escape their reality and enter yours. Especially if they're buying tickets to a concert. They want to step away from the day-to-day and enter something that feels bigger and universal. And it's your responsibility to them to create the best experience, not because of your idea of how they are going to give you recognition. The next thing we're going to do is, well, first of all, I was supposed to introduce everybody. So, y'all know most everybody up here, but this is Daniel Dufore on drums. Let's see how John receives this applause. This is on bass, John Fremgen. Y'all gotta give him bigger applause and see what he does. And you already know Ross. Okay, so I've asked them to play this song the first time purposely self-centered. So basically I want these guys, and I'm gonna do it too, I'm gonna think about myself, I'm gonna think about what you think of me, I'm gonna think about everybody's opinion, anything I've ever done where it didn't feel like the gig went well, everything that could go wrong. I'm gonna think about the fact that I'm wearing a boot and my foot has a fracture and all kinds of issues that have nothing to do with the music. I'm also going to purposely give y'all an example of when people play these well-known songs and they just dial it in like a, you know, a soulless cover band. And then we're going to purposely show you where we bring in our souls, we bring in our individuality and interpretations, and we do it for the sake of a shared experience in the room.
Let's just start with the last 8. So it's on a D flat, right? Yeah. 1, 2, last 8.
I love the most of you, the more of you. I love to take more of you. The eyes, the mouth of you. East, west, north and south of you. I love to gain complete control of you and believe in my heart and soul of you. But love at least a small percent of me do. I love all of you. Now, where do you want to take it? Anywhere.
Let's do it the way we would want to do it. Sure.
Okay. So I'm wide open. So, also, if you're an instrumentalist, it's really, really important to know the actual lyrics. What story are you telling? If it's a heartbreaking story, I want you to be able to break people's hearts with the way you're playing it. And if you don't really know the lyrics behind the song, you're missing a big point. And I've taught, go ahead.
Plus, there's a great lyric in this tune. East, west, north, and south of you.
Yeah.
Come on.
It's true. I've taught singers who don't really, the song's so well known, they're not really considering the lyrics and telling the story. I'm trying to remember, there was one, I wish you love. I wish you in the springtime, most of all, I wish you love. Do y'all know that song? So I've taught a student, trombone student, who's a great musician, great singer, lovely voice. And he didn't really know what the song was about. And we went from, you know, his idea of himself as a jazz singer on the song to connecting to a part of his life where he was that heartbroken and letting go and moving on. And the surrender and the fact that this person telling that story loved that person so much that they still want the best for them, even though they're in agony without them. And those layers of depth, the layers of the human experience that you will bring with every year of your life and every heartbreak and everything that you, all the highs and all the lows, are absolutely present even without lyrics. But you owe it to the song you're covering. You owe it to the song you're interpreting to go as deep into those lyrics and into that story. Because the story it's telling is so universal, that's why we're still playing this song decades and decades later. I love the looks of you, the more of you. I'd love to take a tour of you. Eyes, arms, mouth on you. how much time we have before we decide which way we go.
So, okay.
Almost 30 minutes.
Okay, great.
27.
So, if let me ask you guys something. What did you notice that was different about, and it could be anything, it could be something obvious or maybe not so obvious about the way we play behind her, and if anyone has any ideas why, as opposed to the first time we played it in a very specific way, right? It was kind of hard to play it that way, right? But then, hopefully you notice a difference in the way we played behind Sarah on that second version. Anyone hear what we did, some things that we did different? Yeah. Cash. No.
It seemed like the first time there wasn't a whole lot of listening going around, and the second time everybody kind of like actually collaborated and like listened to each other.
Yeah.
At the level.
What specifically did you hear that made you think that we were listening? Because I agree 100%. And trust me, it was hard not to listen the first time. I'm just saying.
Oh, yeah.
Like specifically like the dynamics in the drums, a lot more changing based on how she was singing and the way she was singing.
Great. So I know someone else said something. We'll get to you in 1 second. So I just want to say something about some dynamics. Absolutely. So dynamically, I mean, to me that was the most obvious difference, right? Now, why would the three of us play dynamically maybe softer under Sarah? Well, she has a softer delivery, right? And so we're trying to be sympathetic to how she sings, right? And even if we had never played with her before, it wouldn't. If you're listening, it wouldn't have taken much for us to hear that. So he played brushes, but he played brushes in a way that he can play brushes where there's still stuff going on, but it's still dynamically there. I tried to match what he was doing with what I was doing. And Ross, I mean, you know, if we could go back to the first version, Ross was playing piano like, you know, the way I play piano, which is horrifying. Banging on. Okay, so that's one thing. So great. General dynamics are important. So the other thing about jazz that I want everyone to understand about dynamics is dynamics in jazz is not typically the same as dynamics in classical music. Right? Classical music tends to have dynamic passages, right, where things kind of go up, and the whole orchestra tends to, or the wind ensemble, whatever, kind of moves dynamically in the same direction. And jazz dynamics don't usually function that way, right? There tends to be one dynamic level, and it can kind of get higher and louder faster, but usually the drums and the bass are sort of the ones that decide where that can go. And we try to be really careful. So it would have been weird in this performance, in my opinion, and I think Dufore would agree with me, is if right when Sarah finished, we were like, all right, now it's time for us to do our thing. And just started like laying into it. That would have been weird, right? And it wouldn't have made, musically, it wouldn't have made sense with the way with Sarah is singing. And it would almost, in my opinion, be kind of disrespectful. It would be sort of, we're waiting for you to get out of our way so we can just do what we want to do. And that's not the point.
That's something I've seen throughout my life. It's, oh, okay, we just gotta let this chick singer do her thing, and then we can really play our jazz.
Yeah.
And it shows your immaturity if that's the way you approach it.
Yeah, and inexperience. And one easy way to start addressing that kind of thought, because it's not always like a conscious thought. Sometimes we just like, man, I've been practicing these scales and these licks, and I just want to wait for the melody to finish so I can show everyone what I can do. That's okay, but that's really not musical, right? That's personal, right? And if you're backing up a singer, what you have to offer personally isn't as important as what you have to offer as a supporting musician. So, you know, even at this age, at this level of experience for most of you guys, you can easily adjust your dynamics. Okay, but what you don't want to, if you find yourself, okay, as soon as the solo starts, when the soloist starts getting heavy, if you find as a rhythm section you're moving up and down dynamically, that's not a good sign. Okay, beware, and I've heard people do that. It's not a good sign. That's not, if you listen to all of our favorite jazz records, Miles, Coltrane, Sonny, whoever, you're very rarely going to hear rhythm sections moving up and down dynamically with the solos, right? That's usually sort of a bass line. And that's kind of what we did there, you know. And Ross didn't like suddenly step on the gas when he took a solo, you know. There is a responsibility for the first soloist out of the gate in these situations, right? And he did the right thing, in my opinion. He stayed sympathetic to Sarah's vibe, and because, trust me, step on the gas when he wants to, but he didn't. He just did his thing, right? Because he's listening, like you said. All right, someone else had a notice something.
Oh yeah, I just wanted to simply point out, kind of like I noticed it felt a lot more expressive, a lot more dynamic. Particularly with the piano in the first example, it felt like it was just like hammering on the chords.
Oh, yeah.
Whereas in this one, it felt so much more like you were using really beautiful lines that really complemented her voice, and it sounded just much more expressive, and it worked so much better with everyone else.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, sometimes, you know, just speaking in terms of choral instruments, like guitar and piano, right? You know, the first thing I think, we've all played together for a long time now, we know each other for a long time, but I think we all have our own experiences too. And based on the way, you know, Prof. Fremgen started the intro on the bass the second time, right? He did this thing in the octave, he went. He wasn't playing. He was playing nice and soft, he was going. It wasn't really accented. It was in time, but it wasn't accented. It was very soft and subtle. And if I would have came, you know, my job and Prof. Dufore's job is if he starts something like that, we have to match the energy, right? And then I think when we came in, we had this very similar energy, and that sets the foundation for when Sarah wants to come in with the melody. She has this kind of like palette that she can go ahead and paint on as the vocalist, right? And the other thing that you have to know is that I think every musician is so unique and individual and different, and that's the way that she likes to do this melody, you know, but you might find a different vocalist or a different horn player that wants to do it completely different, you know? So you have to interact, and interaction is probably the biggest thing that a jazz musician, you have to be really good at interacting in the moment and doing little things in the moment that are gonna make an impact in terms of the overall vibe of the piece. You know, we're all responsible for that, not just one person, everybody on the stages. So yeah, I agree with everything that you said. Yep.
I have something to add to that is, you know, sometimes it's not the best gig. It's not the best audience. It's not the most glamorous. You know, you're definitely not being revered or lifted up. And I think that what we tend to do, I know because John is in my regular band, in a situation where it's like, well, okay, this is not one for the record books as far as pinnacle of our career, but every gig matters, and the things that we try in those moments still add over time to what shapes our sound and our decisions and our arrangements. And so there's a safety and a camaraderie in turning towards each other. It's something you can do to, you know, help yourself if you feel nervous in a situation where the audience isn't paying enough attention or you don't think it's going great. If you play for each other, if you really, really lock into each other and tune in the moment and respond in real time to what's being created, it's a creative act that it can, you know, kind of keep your soul alive even in the worst, you know, not most receptive audience situations, but can also actually turn the tide of the audience and of the moment. When you're finding these moments of authenticity with each other, suddenly this loudest table over here stops for a second and notices what you're doing, and you really can shift the energy in the room.
Yeah.
Anything else to add to that? I had an idea.
Alright.
I don't know whether we'll try to bring someone in to join us on this, but that arrangement you played the other night of God Bless the Child, and I had never heard the other thing.
Oh, yeah.
What key did we do?
We should probably, if we're gonna do it, we should just do it ourselves, because that's, you know, unique. G. Now, you know,
Just
the
do it
chair-
yourself.
No, like
Oh.
us.
Oh,
like,
us.
she
Oh,
went to
okay, I thought you
bring-
guys wanted to
she
do
went
it.
to bring someone up.
Okay.
Okay, so the other night we were playing, John and I were playing with a quartet, and he said, have you ever heard the Keith Jarrett version of God Bless the Child? I had not heard it. I love this song. There are certain songs as a chick singer that if you call it, people are gonna roll their eyes. I mean, like Summertime probably being the most like, we're gonna let this bird get up here and sing Summertime, and then we can get back to playing our real jazz. I've been through that more times than I can count. Summertime's an amazing song, and if you can make it your own, you should play it. But God Bless the Child is an example of one that I haven't played in years. And part of it is my own, what I remember of the times of being treated like, oh God, we gotta let this chick sing God Bless the Child, and then we'll get back to the real jazz. When he mentioned it the other night, he mentioned a really, really influential arrangement for John. I knew that whatever it was gonna be cool and interesting. And I said, I don't wanna hear it. I don't even wanna know what you're referencing. I just wanna respond in my own way to whatever it is that's about to happen. So this was something like that.
I'll tell you guys the arrangement later, who recorded.
Vamos ficar chovendo, vamos not chovendo. So the Bible says, and I still is new. Bible man, Bible man. God bless a child that's got his own. That's got his own. Well, it's strong and more while the weapons fade. Empty pockets don't ever make the green. I'm child that's got its own. That's got its own. That's got
Fun to do things different.
Yeah.
Yep. Does anyone know the version of that song? Probably no one knows. Anyone? Maybe a couple people. You guys ever heard of a piano player named Keith Jarrett? No? Oh, go do a deep dive on Keith Jarrett. Keith Jarrett and his trio with Gary Peacock on bass and Jack DeJohnette, who I think is one of the greatest jazz drummers ever, had a trio, piano trio, and this was in a time, in 1980, they played their first record. This was in a time where jazz was in a funny place, and in no value judgment at all because of like fusion recordings and like electric jazz and what Miles Davis had been doing with funk and R&B, and there was sort of this weird place where does acoustic jazz still have a play? This is before Wynton Marsalis. Right? I mean, Wynton Marsalis almost single-handedly sort of revitalized acoustic jazz, but Keith Jarrett just stuck to his guns and he had a relatively successful string of recordings called Standards. Standards Volume 1, Standards Volume 2, Standards Volume 3. And it was that trio doing just acoustic piano trio versions of Standards, obviously. And this was from Standards Volume 1, first record in 1980. And for someone like me, who was very young, I was like, 1 in 1980. I was very young, and it was eye-opening because at that point, I hadn't really learned about Bill Evans, for instance, or Ahmad Jamal, even Oscar Peterson, like that kind of stuff, because I knew I was into Weather Report, Pat Metheny, and things like that. So those recordings really meant a lot to me, and they're really very interesting and very almost perfect executions of these great American songbook tunes. So I would highly recommend deep diving some Keith Jarrett standards recordings. And it's just fun to do stuff like that.
I also think, and you probably already do this, but any song that you're practicing and learning, you should listen to every single other version of that song you can get your hands on.
Yep.
I don't even think you need to study and listen closely. You just need to absorb casually every single version of that song that you can, because certain choices, certain innovations, certain little interesting ways of interpreting will stick somewhere and influence how you have your own unique interpretation.
I was gonna say one other thing about that, and I started dogging on these symbols. So yeah, that's a great point. Listen to different versions. So, and then we all have our definitive versions of a lot of tunes. Not everything, but we all have our definitive versions of tunes. And sometimes it's kind of fun if I play like a gig with Ross Margitza and I have a definitive version of "But Not For Me," which I heard some of you guys playing earlier. And it's not necessarily the same as him, and we can sort of find a place in the middle. However, I will tell you, and I would never say to Ross, no, that's not the definitive version. My Ray Brown trio version is the definitive version, not the John Coltrane one. So I would never say that. I would say, cool, yeah, we're two guys who can play, and we like each other, and we're gonna find that middle ground. That's great. I will say, without exception, the definitive version of any tune is not the real book, okay? The real book is a tool, okay? All those songs in the real book they're like the strings that I play, or the reeds that you guys use, or the valve oil. They're tools to help us in what we do. But there's nothing definitive about the real book is pages, okay? It's ink on paper, right? That has nothing to do with music, right? With the jazz music, the versions of those songs are all in the ether. They're all out there. Just go, and now you can just go on YouTube and find them, you know? But back in the day, we had to go to libraries to find the record. Those are the versions. Okay, do not ever, if you ever find yourself saying to someone, you're not playing the right version of this tune because that's not how it's written in the real book. Do not stop yourself from saying that immediately and say, you know what, I'm gonna go listen to this guy's version of this tune that he's telling me. Because I promise you, it's gonna be different than what's in the real book, and it's gonna inspire you, right? Nothing about the real book is gonna inspire you, right? Just, you know, that's not how this music works, okay? So I'm not telling you not to have a real book and not to use it as a helpful guide, but look at the real book as, like I said, the strings that I play. And my strings by themselves don't make jazz, right? His sticks don't make jazz, but he needs them, right? You may need the real book to help you here and there, but the real book is not, by any means, anything definitive about this music, okay? All right, that's my high horse on the real book.
Do y'all notice that whenever I'm not singing and they're soloing, I step back? Have y'all been taught that?
That's important too.
I'm purposely, I'm not, at this point it's second nature, but it's polite. You know, I don't want to block this person's view of that person on stage. Whichever way I have a little space to kind of get out of the way and let people see the person soloing in an unobstructed view. It's good manners.
And for front line too, not just singers, for horn players.
Yeah, not just for singers. Just, you know, be aware. Take your moment to step out of the way.
Yeah.
So, how long, do we have like 10 minutes?
Yeah.
Okay, 10, okay. So then we got into the territory of you know, what is jazz? And y'all are concentrated probably on a lot of the real book, the Great American Songbook, but you could take any song and make it jazz, right? Do you think if I pulled up the chart, do you think we do or something that's not a known jazz song? I have the chart.
If it's a good chart.
It's this one.
Yeah, I'm sure that'll work.
That's the one that Joel wrote.
Yeah, why not?
Okay, I don't know.
My student wrote it, huh?
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh my, I didn't, but we'll see. I'll do my best,
Okay.
okay?
It's a D.
So we just put out a record. It came out May 15th, and it's going really well. If y'all are interested in hearing it, it's on Spotify and all the streaming platforms. My name's Sarah Sharp. And we just got back from playing 7 shows in Japan, and I was in Paris before that, and New Orleans. We're about to go to New York. There's a lot happening because we made a recording that is helping us reach a lot more people. And it's the first album I've put out where I didn't write any of the songs. I'm a songwriter also. But 3 of the songs on the record are not what would be considered, you know, the Great American Songbook or standards. We have a Bob Dylan song, a Beatles song, and a Randy Newman song. So I think we'll play one of those to make the point of how any song can be jazz. Can you see it enough?
Yeah, I can see it.
You can just leave the way forever until somebody
I can
else
start.
wants
Okay,
to
go for
come
it.
in. Yeah.
Go for it, I'll jump in.
When day breaks, your mind aches. You find all her words of kindness later on, and she no longer needs you. She wakes up, takes her time, doesn't feel she has to hurry. She no longer needs you. In her eyes you see nothing, no sign. Love I should have lost in you. You stay home, she goes out. She says, long ago she knew someone, but now he's gone. She doesn't need him. You want her, you need her. There will be times when all the things she said will fill your head. You won't forget her. And in her eyes you'll see nothing, no sign of love behind the tears. Cry for home. Love I should have lost in you. Thank y'all. Okay, I want to let y'all ask questions, anything. Doesn't have to do with exactly what we were just talking about, but any music related or music career related thing that you'd like to ask. Uh-oh.
First,
Okay,
Was it cool playing in Japan?
it was really awesome playing in Japan. First of all, people kept warning us that the audiences are different. They're paying so much attention. You can't tell if they like you because they're just like frozen and listening, really serious. And then turns out they really, really love it. And we had an interesting thing with the piano because of how they tune it.
yeah,
Like it's not A440, so we would get there and figure out it wasn't always exactly.
it wasn't 442. They were
Was-
like between 441 and 442.
It was always a little between A441, A442. So then they would be adjusting, and we'd get this like quick sound check because we were at a festival. So throw your things on stage and go one band after another. Go ahead. We played in Tokyo our last night. We played at the Takatsuki Jazz Festival in Osaka. We played 4 different shows, and that was the big festival that brought us over there. And then in addition, we played in Fukuoka, Fukuyama, and Tokyo.
Can I say something really quick about Japanese audiences? Sarah was saying that they're different. So that was the fifth time I think I've played in Japan over the last 10 or 12 years. And one thing that you never see, no matter what kind of music you're playing in Japan, the one thing you never see in the audience is a blue face. You know what I'm talking about? No one is on their phone. There's no phone glow. Because in Japan, it would be considered so discourteous to be in an audience, musicians on stage, looking at your phone, which is a complete departure from out here. Most of the times when I play shows out here, I look out and there's phone glow everywhere, right? So that's a pretty significant thing to think about, in my opinion, if you're an audience member.
It's wonderful.
Yeah. What else?
You said that they were between 441 and 442. Why weren't they the same as we are here?
Well, you could probably explain it better. Isn't it like in classical music, like centuries ago, everything was tuned to 442?
Yeah, so in European countries, they have a European tuning system there, which is a little bit sharper than the United States. Why it's like that, I can't tell you why, but in the United States we usually tune to 440. Japan, I guess 442. In Europe, a lot of countries in Europe are tuned to 445.
Yeah.
Orchestra is tuned, I think, to 445 in Europe. So it's I mean, you know, I don't have perfect pitch. I think you need kind of perfect pitch, maybe exact pitch, to kind of tell the difference between 440 and 445. But like, if you're just on the bandstand, it's you feel different. You can feel it.
You feel it.
You can feel it, but you can't really tell that it's out of tune. It feels really different to your inside. It kind of messes your internal clock a little bit. Sorry to interrupt.
Well, the guitar and bass absolutely had to adjust to whatever piano we were showing up.
But it
for,
still
'cause
feels different.
It's disorienting.
A in Europe and Japan feels different than A in America. It's just a weird thing, weird phenomenon. That's why I don't know when they do it.
Beatles song called For No One.
Yeah. Beautiful song, huh? Those Beatles sure could write some nice songs.
I think it's important to feel
Liam's got
that
one.
you can take any song and make it your jazz song.
Yeah. Liam?
Did you go to music school?
I did. I went to Berklee College of Music, and I was, you know, big in the choir in high school. But very, very late to jazz. I didn't know anything about jazz until I got to college. I didn't grow up with a family that listened to jazz. I didn't grow up around it. I knew nothing. I was very, very, very late bloomer.
Yeah. Question?
I do. I think I went. The time where I really, really went deep was in college. Like I was saying, listen to every version you can. I was surrounded by people who were way ahead of me as jazz musicians, and I was just somebody who had a decent voice. And so, when I needed to prepare to do a standard, I would go. This was before Spotify. I would go to the music library, and you could check out a tape or a CD or what's the other kind of tape?
Dat?
Yeah, and a vinyl, and listen to 10, 15, 20 different versions of that standard. So when I give that advice, it's because I think there are certain ways when I'm singing like let's say The Nearness of You. There's certain phrases where I tend to, put that song that come from that deep dive back then, like this one thing that Etta James did, or this one thing that Sarah Vaughan did. And it's not exactly copying, it's just integrating what felt so authentic from each of their performances. Any other questions?